Spellmaking is one of the most broken things that you will find in Oblivion because it trivializes a whole bunch of stuff. Let's just get into it, and we're going to go through every single bit of a process that you need to start making your spells. First and foremost, you need an altar of spell making. Usually in the base game of Oblivion, this is a little bit more difficult because you would have to go through the whole mage's questline that involves going into the main cities and getting a recommendation so that then you can enter into the Mages Guild University at the Imperial City. Thanks to the Oblivion remaster/remake, it is no longer needed because you can directly go into the Bruma and start at the Wild Eye Stables and then go directly into the Frostcrack Spire. Here you will find the altar of spell making, however it's not going to be active. So how can we actually activate this thing? So this is the entrance to the market district at the Imperial City. You will see that we are right here, and then the location that we're going to want to go to is going to be towards the right. And then here we're going to take a right again. And this is the location that we are going to need, the Mystic Emporium. Now there's a couple of NPCs right in here. You have the main vendor right here. The candles, the item that we need to purchase, she is the one that has the item. She no longer has it for me, but here you can purchase a little bit more of upgrades for your Frostcrack Spire, like for example the Alchemy Lab or the library area. She also has a couple of soul gems that you can see in here. I believe that she's not going to have the candles for me because I have already purchased them, but yeah, you need to purchase the candles. Now, spellmaking is going to follow a very similar pipeline to what enchanting does. First, you need to know the base spell of everything. The cool thing about the spellmaking is that you can have a whole bunch of crazy combinations, or even take the spells that you already have as a base, the regular form of them, and improve on them and make something that much superior, that much better. Like for example, Flame Touch. The Flame Touch has a fire damage on touch and it deals 25 points. I can, for example, if I want to make something very basic, I can select the fire effect, the fire damage, and here I'm going to have a whole bunch of parameters. I can either select on touch or I can select on target, this is something that you're going to be casting, or you can select on self. Self, we're going to be using it for the buffs, and those are the spells that I'm going to be showing you in a little while, that they are the most broken thing in the entirety of the worlds. But I can say, for example, the basic fire damage spell, and this is the actual limit that I have to make a spell strong or not. Like, for example, you will see in here I cannot pass beyond that 85 because it's not going to allow me to create it. So the maximum amount of fire damage that I can have, as you can see right here, would be a total of 41 fire damage. So how would I be able to amplify that fire damage? Well, I would then select some weakness on fire, and the weakness on fire is not actually going to take that much of the power of the spell that we're making. It's just going to take 2 points. And yeah, so we can confirm in here, we already have 20 points into fire damage and touch, which is going to be augmented by 100% of fire damage and touch. You can also have the magic damage resistance or weakness on touch. I do not have it because remember, that's the same pipeline that I'm trying to explain. That spell, I actually do have it, which I believe to be here, weakness to magicka, but my skill level is too low. I have purchased the spell. I have it, but this requires Journeyman. My destruction right now is an apprentice. So if I wanted to combine those spells, I need to be able to cast them first. So that's the overall general idea of spell making. Now let me tell you about the spells that are going to trivialize your game. And those are going to be the spells for Fortify skill. Here you're going to be able to select which one do you want to have, and you can have several of them, like a general overall one that is going to help you to do what I'm about to show you right now. But my advice is that you actually make several of them different spells, because the more that you place on these guys, the more magicka they cost. And if you're trying to make this as a non-mage, because remember, you only need apprentice, I believe, if not even novice. I'm not entirely sure if you need a novice or apprentice, but it's not that really difficult to get the restoration to level 25, which is what this is. This is a restoration skill. Now, the actual skills that are going to trivialize the game is going to be everything that requires for you to pause the game and to actually start interacting with the world. So for example, alchemy. The same thing for, let's say, mercantile, security, and speechcraft. Those are one of the most powerful skills in the entirety of the game, because security, you're always going to have to find locks. And then speechcraft, this is going to allow you to get more out of the, if there's like many quests that you cannot have like the outcomes that you want to, if you do not persuade people to think like you want them to think first. And then we also have merchant, which the mercantile, which basically allows us to get richer faster and to purchase things cheaper. This is also going to unlock new secret items that stores have on them. And then the final self-explanatory, armor. If you reach your armor to level 75, you can improve your gear, your weapons and armor beyond the 100% of durability. And while your armor or weapon is beyond 100% of the durability, then you're going to be able to have a buff. So let's actually discuss about that fortify skill. It can be like any of those previous skills that I have just showed you, like for example the security, the speechcraft, and what have you. I already have a whole bunch of them, so I'm not going to actually create one. I'm just going to give you the basics of how is this going to work. You're going to select the self, because you're going to be buffing your character, the magnitude 100, which is going to allow for you to have that skill on level 100. And then duration, I like to have 2 seconds. I think that 1 second would be more than enough, because of how are we going to be doing things in here. But just to be secure, 2 seconds should be more than enough. So I have a whole bunch of them already created in here that you will see. This is for speechcraft for 100 points, security for 100 points, mercantile for 100 points. So let's say, for example, I do not have a lock right now at the moment here with me, but if I were to be, let's actually head to the vault. So I buffed myself, and the effect, as you can see down there, it's going to last for a couple of seconds. The thing is that when I pause the game, and this actually happens with every action that you interact with the world around you. So if you were to pause the game, if you were to be speaking with an NPC, if you were actually touching a chest, it will be paused, so when I come back you will see that the effect is still counting to be active. So let's imagine that this chest would be closed. I would then use this and then click interact with the chest. At this point I would actually be meddling with the security and with the lockpick, and my level would be on 100, so when I go back to, it's still going to be active. And this is going to work for merchants, for persuading people, and whenever you actually persuade people, let me actually show you. So I want for you to take a look at my character and my personality and my speechcraft. This is a novice. This is on novice level, so my speechcraft is not actually that great, and my personality stat is not actually that high either. But when I go to Reshan in here, you will see that my persuasion with her is already on 100. It's on the maximum, it's on the highest level, because I used my Silver Stone, which is the spell that I use to persuade people. So I just have to use it once, and then it's always going to be active. So now every time that I talk to her, I just need to use my Merchant's Tongue, because this is going to provide me with more secret weaponry that she would have in here that otherwise she wouldn't be selling to people, and also I have access to the best prices while haggling. Have in mind that this is also something that those are like kind of the spell. I'm not that creative. There's like many crazy things when on actual combat that you can make with spell making. I'm not that creative, and my actual levels on magic are not that high, so this is something that you can use as a regular playthrough, but it's very valuable. If you know like a good combination, then put it down in the comment section down below. It's going to be helpful to someone. Combat combinations for spells and the magic management, and if it's going to be efficient, and a little bit brief description of what you like to do about that combination of spell. If you like the content, so like and super appreciate it. And also you the gorgeous beautiful person. You are indeed a gorgeous and beautiful person. Subscribe to the channel, join the Discord. Have a beautiful day and goodbye.